Welcome to CCRPG, where we open up our virtual table and play games with some good friends. I'm Bob, and I'll be running Lancer, an RPG by Miguel Lopez and Tom Parkinson-Morgan. You can find it at Massive Press on itch.io. When we last were with our pilots, we saw them start to set up their preparations for holding off Manticorp. They swiftly discovered that they had less time than anticipated when Torsay Lees, their operator, detected the Novus Innovari flagship arriving at the edge of the system. With less time to repair and up against Manticorp's well-outfitted experimental field test unit, the DBC crew have the odds stacked against them. Ending last session, we saw a promising start from their stratagem as Rock was able to take out one full squad using his stealth, focus, and the explosive yield of a power plant rigged with iridium alum. Now, we're going to transition over to our other pilots and see what they have planned. Welcome, pilots!
Hi.
Hi.
So, Dyne, do you have any twos?
No, sorry.
Oh shit, now
right.
we gotta advance the plot.
All right, so we all saw what Rock got up to with his plan going off in the city. Now, the rest of you, I believe, are still back at the mining camp. Is that right?
Yes.
Or you had headed in
I
that direction from two different places, I believe.
Yeah, I'd be on my way back with Concern and Valet, I believe.
Yeah, COMET, CHIMERA, Concern, and Valet were at the mine, and ORION is heading back from the city because he went, and he was the one who was with Torsay when the DBC left for other environs that are a little less heated right now.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
she wanted a little bit more space, give or take.
Well, I want to find out from you guys, what do you have planned? You have a few days left before the colony ship arrives to evacuate the civilians. What do you have planned to try and decrement the strength of the Manticorp forces?
So my big plan, which I thought a lot about, is I want us to go and beat them in battle, so that they lose and we win.
That's
the plan.
That is a novel strategy.
Yeah.
For you.
And how
I
many
have a
people
feeling
survived
people
in
may
this
have.
movie?
I have a feeling people may have tried that before.
I mean, why make things complicated? Just let's win and call it a day. No, but so we did kind of talk about this in our off time, and so I think what Astro would like to do is gain some more information about these forces that we're going to be dealing with. We know very little. We know the group that Rock ran into, which is made up of drones, but we don't know they're probably sending some of their new technology, so we just don't know what to expect. So I think what Astro wants to do is he wants to go on an intelligence mission, and he also wants to possibly see about setting up some sort of ambush. So we know they're probably going to go check out the mines. He wants to go there and maybe take Concern and or Valet with him, and remain hidden while they start to investigate the mines. Once they're at a point where they're deep within the mines, we'll detonate the explosives and perhaps try to attack. I don't know yet. But the main thing he'd really like to do is, while being hidden, try to hack into their systems. Maybe hack into their communication network and monitor some of their communications or their plans. So that's sort of what I think Astro would like to do. That makes sense.
It does. It sounds to me like, yeah, you're on kind of a stealth hacking mission. You're going to stay within range of the mine, and as they come to investigate it with whatever forces happen to show up, you're going to see what you can do to break into their systems. So we can definitely run that.
And I'm sort of also thinking as a contingency, like if the mine detonation doesn't take care of whatever force they send out, then we would also prepare ourselves by putting us like in favorable terrain, ready for an ambush if need be. So I'm just kind of thinking about taking a defensive position by the mine as well as we set up to sort of do the stealth hack.
All right, sounds good to me. So here's the thing. We can do this. Interestingly, your plan is to hack in using your mech, right? Like you're actually going to be using the systems within the director's cut, right?
That's correct. I'm also going to use my Lotus projector drone, which is just a scout drone that can detect mechs that are nearby it. So I'm going to have it, and it's invisible. So I'm going to have it kind of patrolling the area around the mines.
All right, so we're going to kind of run this as a series of checks for you.
Okay.
To start with, so we haven't really done this before, but there are slightly different rules to make skill checks when you're directly utilizing your mech. It doesn't really matter how stealthy you are, COMET. It kind of matters whether or not the director's cut gets found. So what I'm going to need you to do is make an agility roll using your mech skill.
Okay. Can I also say that since can I use some of my mech abilities to my advantage? For example, my retractable profile and my integrated cloak.
Yes, for that I'm going to give you advantage accuracy on the roll.
Awesome. Okay.
So it's just a D20 plus your agility, because agility is when chasing, pursuing, fleeing with incredible speed, performing acrobatics in your mech, hiding or moving silently. So that is a thing you're trying to do in your mech.
Okay. Is there a way to roll that in D20, or should I just manually roll this?
I don't know what your character sheet looks like in Roll20, unfortunately.
Okay, I'm just gonna roll a D20 plus my agility, which is 1. Does grit get added to this too, or no? Grit.
We can totally find out.
I'll take anything I could get. I'm trying to look at like what situations grit is used for.
Grit is one of those
music.
Grit is one of those things that I feel like is slightly poorly indexed in this game, in that it is hard for me to keep track of what it does and doesn't apply to. It feels like it adds mostly to like your HP and your like attack values and stuff like that. I'm not sure if it adds to skill checks though.
Yeah.
I think it adds to some of them, but not all of them.
It's kind of funny because like when you read the rule book, you just see like random things. It says, "Oh, and add your grit to this." Like, I can't find something where it says these are all the things that grit applies to.
It doesn't look like it, not on a skill check.
Okay, fair enough.
But it might add to your
Yeah, it might be mostly like a combat thing.
Yeah, it might be because you're doing it in your mech, the grit might apply. That's the weird thing about grit, is because it applies in like very specific circumstances.
Yeah.
Leveling up, you get grit, but it doesn't say what that's for, which is very not useful. For now, we're going to say that it doesn't,
Okay.
and I'm willing to be proven wrong.
Yeah, but I'm thinking,
because when you read through skill checks, it just says your bonuses are from triggers and your bonuses are from accuracy.
Right.
It doesn't say anything about adding grit to skill checks.
Yeah, I'm literally doing a Control F on grit in the PDF and not seeing anything.
It's not too useful, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I roll this with accuracy, so I roll it twice and take the best one, or take.
You roll a d6 twice. Or no, you just roll a d6 and add the number. Remember? That's
right. Okay, I'm thinking of other things. Okay, whoa, that's not a good roll. I rolled a 4 with the d20. Let's roll a d6, another 4, so 8.
It looks like grit determines attack rolls and saves. That is what I'm seeing. All right. So, so you roll 3 + 1, which is 4, and you add a d6, which is just another 4. So that is less than 10. So this is a failure. You try to get as close as you can without alerting the investigative team. An investigative team is being sent out to investigate the mine, like you thought they would. You are not able to get nearly as close as you wanted to. You are stuck well out of sensors range for now. That is the penalty. The penalty is you did not alert them, but you are far, far further away. You could not sneak close enough.
Okay, makes sense.
Oh, I know I'm not there, but like something I was hoping for Astro to find out is like, is there any sort of transportation ship or of a sort that they came in, or there's no sign of that? And I guess technically Astro has to roll for that, or maybe he just knows.
Yeah, I mean, I'll relay whatever I find out, like, from what I gather at the mine. I'm guessing if they came in on a drop ship, they probably landed outside of the mine and then traveled there, but I'll have to see.
That is a correct assessment, yes.
Yeah. All right, cool. So let's say since I couldn't get close, I wait until what do I do? I wait until they get they start going close to the entrance of the mine and look for an opportunity to kind of close the distance.
Okay. As you wait, the team you see from a distance looks like it is a variety of mechs that are fast but stocky. They're like scout mechs, but they're outfitted with almost like hazard gear. I'd say that Astro, upon assessing like what their loadout looks like, it looks like they are hardened for like exploring dangerous locations.
Okay, got it.
Bombs room.
Yikes. Destroyed me. Can I send my my scout drone, my Lotus projector, out
Absolutely.
to get a closer look? Has to be deployed within sensors, but maybe if I deploy it and then try to get a little closer.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and call this a systems check.
Okay.
Because you're simultaneously trying to scan and analyze information, boost electronic systems. You're trying to get it close enough to get like interlaced with their stuff, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And
So you couldn't
roll.
get close enough with stickiness. So this is you sending your drone forward and hoping you can boost its systems enough to make up for you.
Yeah, and then sort of like use it as a relay, and try to gain access to their system that way, maybe. So let's my system is 2, so let's roll a d20 plus 2. Do I have accuracy or just normal?
Because you're using your specialized drone for this, I'll grant you an accuracy on this roll.
All right, let's see. Ooh, that's more like it. Crit. Nat 20
Nice.
plus 2 is 22.
Nice. Roll that d6.
Let's roll the d6.
Don't throw anything away. Use the whole thing.
D6 is 4, so 26.
26 total. I would say that's a success. What you could not make up for with closing distance and your stealthiness, your new aptitude with the systems of the director's cut and your specialized drone and what you've learned from Torsay kind of fill in for you. You're able to push your drone closer and closer until you start to hear transmissions in between the mechs with one another.
Okay, great. I'd like to be recording these transmissions in my log.
Okay, absolutely. You start recording, totally.
And then can I also now that I've got now that I'm eavesdropping in on them, can I try to hack and gain access to their communications?
Yes, this will be a systems check, but this one will be considered dangerous. So on a 10 to 20, there are downsides. It'll be a success with downside. Yeah. Anything above a 20 is a full success. Anything below 10 is a full failure.
Okay. Cool. I'm not nervous. So I'll roll this up. 20 plus 2. I'm guessing this one's without accuracy, right?
No, I'm granting you're still using the same things you were before. It's going to be
okay, great. Plus
and your specialty is in hacking, so
yeah. How do you do the like?
It's double brackets.
Double brackets. I'm just trying to do the roll in D20. Okay, 24.
Ooh, lucky boy.
Boy,
wow.
crit. Sigh of relief.
You're really making up that bad roll in the beginning, aren't you?
Yeah, your stealth was bad, but you are able to hook into, and you luck out here. This is part of why you get a full success and not a partial success. You are able to hook into the squad leaders and hack into the squad leaders mech. Instantly, a bunch of readouts of system information start throwing themselves across your screen.
Awesome. This is great.
You instantly know you have hacked the mech of Caps Trips Iriane.
Okay, you're gonna have to write that out for me as well. Caps Trip.
That's a trippy name.
Wait, is this his call sign or is that actually their name?
The middle part is the call sign. There are call sign trips.
Oh, okay, gotcha. It's like how I would be Astro, COMET, Jamin.
Exactly.
All right. Cool. I'd like to just continue monitoring them as they start to go into the mines and explore the mines.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm also getting ready to blow the place up once I feel like a good portion of them or all of them are deep within the mine that it will probably trap them or cave them in or something.
Mm-hmm. This is a squad of 5. The squad leader is kind of like you can kind of almost kind of POV this a little bit because in one monitor you literally have up the sensor data and camera data from the squad leader, so you can actually see what they see to a certain extent, and they obviously have each other on IFF, so like you're kind of getting a whole you can almost like tactical map data kind of like view from above their whole operation.
Right.
And you see that Trips separates the team into 3 and 2. They send 3 people into the mine. They are taking it slow. They seem to be examining like a variety of things, including scorch marks. You see that the one that has stayed outside the mine with Trips is examining areas that you remember were mines before they became scorch marks when you had your fight here.
Yeah.
They are examining, but you can tell they did turn off the artillery on their way in. So that part of your ruse worked. They did approach, turn off the artillery, and then fully close on the mine. So they approached knowing that the artillery was still online, and they're kind of examining the remains of the battle as far as you can tell. Judging by the communications within the team, they are sending kind of like sensor data and examination data back and forth from each other, trying to determine like what happened here. They're on an investigation mission to determine what happened here. How are things? Is the mine good? They are trying to make sure that the mine is good. That's what they're here for. Right. Actually, scrubbing their data, you can specifically tell that this is Squad 4 of the ground forces, and they are specialists in scout and recovery.
Okay, cool.
Just
That's
pray
good
they
to
don't
know.
notice a certain axe mark inside the mines.
They'd have to go pretty deep to find where Evelene was, but yeah.
What's the difference between an axe mark and a pickaxe mark?
Did they use pickaxes the size of a mech?
Also, I'm pretty sure.
Presumably in this universe, I mean,
That's actually feasible.
I'm actually pretty sure they use more advanced mining methods than a pickaxe to get iridium alum out of the ground.
It was a giant future pickaxe.
At the end of the day, they all go hi ho.
Oh man, I got the green lung from being down in the mines, swinging my axe at that iridium alum.
Home from work we go.
lung pop.
All right. Since I have like a kind of foothold into their systems, is there anything like, do they have a link up with like home base, with headquarters, with any other squads? Are they checking in? Anything like that?
You can tell that right now they are out of direct sensor range. Like they would have to do what you would do right now with the DBC, which is send a message, wait somewhere between 30 minutes and a few hours, depending on how far away the message they're sending is, and then wait for a response. There is no instant communication happening right now.
Okay, gotcha. Cool.
Remember, all the power is gone from the planet aside from what they brought with them, right? So it's not like they have a base on the planet that can like, be a repeater for data. If it's out of their sensor range and it's out of their ship's sensor range, they're just sending it and waiting for it to come back. You would have to be within sensor range of someone else to do instantaneous communication.
Is it possible to download like a mission briefing they might have stored onto their computers?
You can try, totally. I'm gonna let your success ride because you successed so well.
Okay.
This is not data that's more classified than what you already have access to. You are able to get not necessarily like a mission statement or anything, like a goals list, so much as a listing of the various Lancer squads that make up the ground forces.
Okay, that's helpful information to have, I think. Cool. Does it include like technical details about those squads, or just like their names?
It's mostly names and like designations.
Okay.
You are able to determine about what the full complement of the enemy ground forces include, though, which is a lot more information than you had before.
Yeah.
From what you're aware, and based off of the information that you're in the process of downloading, there are 5 full Lancer squads that make up the full complement of like elite squads that are on this ship. There are 8 troop squads that are like, when I say troop squads, I mean hundreds of soldiers, including tanks and artillery.
Wow.
Okay. So like each squad is like hundreds of soldiers plus ground vehicles.
Yeah.
Okay. And there are also some support mechs, and you have readouts of something that's just listed as armor. You don't know what it means, but it has its own listing. It just says armor in all capital letters.
Okay. It's Metal Gear, probably.
Metal Gear.
We have Solid Snake on our team.
So you have 5 Lancer squads. You have support mechs to each one of those squads, like what the equivalent of like foot soldiers would be.
Right.
And then 8 troop squads. Every troop squad comes with a full complement of hundreds of soldiers and tanks and artillery. Basically, Rock, after you did your business taking out the reactor and the iridium alum and taking out that whole squad, and you kind of had to get out of there because now the city is crawling with troops. They have taken Flus Delta. In the hours between then and now, they have landed probably half of their troop squads in the city and are exterminating all of the flora and fauna in the city.
Good for them.
Could we like
They
call
won't
up
be missed.
Could we call up a wildlife conservation group for backup support?
You can try and call up a humanitarian group while you're at it. I don't know if they'll answer.
I'm sure PETA exists in the future.
All right. So I guess the only thing left for me now is what I'm going to do is you said I sort of have tactical information about like where their mechs are and stuff, like how they're moving.
Oh yeah, this squad, you have live updates of exactly where they are at all times.
So I'll bring that up. I'll have it like superimposed on my map while being overlaid with like all the locations of the different explosives we planted in the mine, and I'll run some calculations on my computer, and I'll figure out the best like time to detonate it based on their positions.
Okay,
as they're moving through the mine.
So we're gonna run this as a traditional skill check. This is just you doing a timing thing. You're pulling off a plan. Now, here's the thing. When you start one of these, I need you to tell me what your stated goal is so I know what to give you if you succeed.
So I want to destroy as much of their squad or trap them within the mines as possible.
Okay, so you want to completely destroy all 5 of them.
If possible, yeah. I want to destroy as many of them as I can with this explosion.
Sounds good to me. Okay, you can go ahead and make a pilot skill check. I'm going to tell you that on this is going to have difficulty added. But it's not a dangerous check. So you just need to beat a 10. But you are starting with a minus D6 to start, unless you can do something about that.
Gotcha. I'm trying to see. This is a pilot skill check. I'm trying to see if I have any triggers.
Yeah, whatever triggers you think apply. Give me a shout, and I'll tell you what works and what don't.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to charm them No, just kidding. I'm gonna sing to them and lull them into a false sense of security, and then blow them up. All right, so I have hack or fix, but I've sort of done that already. You know,
that's
like
not what this
hacking's
is.
Done. Yeah. Investigate. I'm trying to calculate an ideal time to blow them up, but I don't feel like that's what investigate means. How does investigate? How's that described? Rules. Investigate.
Well, I can tell you
Research
right
a
now.
subject or study something in great detail.
Yes, that's probably not what this is.
Take control.
That's solving a puzzle. Take control is using force, violence, presence of will. We've talked about take control in a previous session. That involves you being present in a situation and taking control of that situation.
Yeah.
You have stay cool.
That can work.
No, I don't.
You don't have that.
The only thing I could sort of try to stretch is maybe act unseen or unheard. Like I'm trying to do this without their awareness. But not to sabotage myself. I kind of already did that too. Like all these things I'm talking about, I've done already.
Yes, those were all the setup actions for this. That's why you're not in a worse position making this final. This is your final. This is the final check.
All right. So I don't think I have.
Depending on depending on how this turns out, will determine kind of like how effective the action was.
All right. Worth considering my options though. But let's roll that check. So this is a 1d20 minus a d6. Oof.
Oh.
Oof. That was a
Oofa
1,
doofa.
guys.
Oofa doofa.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you're
1.
just lucky that things don't get worse when you roll lower. Astro, you realize fairly quickly that based off of like the layout and where the charges are placed and how far you had to stay away in order to not get detected, you're ready to do the explosion. You've timed it. You're like, I have the right timing. You go to hit the button, you're out of range for the detonator.
Of course. That makes sense.
Oh, snap. That's devious.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have. Can I react to this?
Yes. I expect you to.
Yeah, it's time to get closer. Because even if I get discovered, it's very important that we blow up this mine, or else that's a big mission failure. They're gonna take the bombs down once they discover it, and
I mean, they're gonna know it's us as soon as the bombs explode anyway. So, like, on anything, you're just kind of speeding things along.
So
no, I mean, I don't want them to defuse the explosives. Like we need this mine to blow up. So,
Astro, what I will say is, you said you brought Concern and Valet with you, right?
Oh yes, I did.
They're kind of watching your back up on the ridge. They're on board with you. Whatever you want to do. If you want them to stay behind and watch your back while you try to get closer to detonate the mine, or if you need them to like rush the mine with you, or they're up for whatever your plan is, but you need to take an action.
Okay, I'm gonna radio them and say, stay back. Watch my 6. I'm out of range. I'm going to need to try to get closer to set off the explosives. I'll try to do it sneakily as I can, and get within range.
Okay. So you move forward to get within range to set off the detonation.
Yeah.
You don't have to make a check for this. I just need to know what you would do, because once you get close enough and you hit the detonator, it just happens. This isn't like a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
But I am now going to invoke something that I've had in my back pocket for like 4 or 5 sessions now.
It's called Screw You.
It's called Screw You because Chimera fucked up. We made a roll a long time ago to determine what Chimera knew about iridium alum for her plan to blow up the mine.
Oh no.
She failed horribly.
Oh
and
no.
I said, that's fine. That will just come into play later.
Oh no.
Oh, God.
Later is now.
Damn it, Pass Chuck. Damn it.
So, I don't think Chimera realized that the explosive yield of iridium alum is, well, it gets stronger exponentially the more of it that's close together.
Right.
And there is an entire mine of it beneath this mountain.
Sure is.
Weren't we talking about nukes before this session?
A little bit. So you rush forward to get into range, Comet,
Yeah.
and you're still hooked in to their comm systems. As you're rushing forward, you hear alerts go up. They spot you instantly.
Right.
You can't do it. You can't do it fast or silently enough to not get spotted. But you get within range. You just slam your fist against the detonator button, and it immediately is exactly living up to your expectations. The entire ground starts shaking. The entire floor starts shaking. The mine behind the 2 squaddies that are left outside starts to light up with this green energy that starts to shine so brightly it turns white. And almost like a dragon breathing fire, green flames erupt out of the mouth of the mine, instantly incinerating the 2 other squad mechs that are there.
Oh, man.
So, you succeeded. You've destroyed the whole squad. And now the mine explodes under your feet.
Yes.
Luckily, you're far enough away that it doesn't instantly vaporize you. The way that the way that the enemy squad does, but I'm going to need you to make a save for me.
I bet you do.
I hope we still get paid.
Are we
at
in
the
one
end
of
this.
Astro's movies?
Damn it! Well, if it was one of my movies, I would walk away from the explosion without looking back. Not get caught in the explosion. Come on.
I mean, you can do one of those things where you're running away from the explosion and the floor is coming out from below.
That would be
You
cool
guys-
too, but I think I'm just falling down.
You guys have no idea how excited I was to finally be able to trigger Chimera's failure.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, but this is actually hilarious.
Okay, so it's funny. The 2 things that I'm giving you as options are going to be kind of equivalent here for you. You can either make a hull save to brace against the coming explosion, or you can make an agility save to try and outrun it.
I gotta go for outrunning it. That's more of the action movie move. So I'll do the agility save. Either way, my hull is 1 and my agility is 1. So, all right. So do I just for save? Is it a D20 plus?
It's just I think for saves you get to add your grit though, so it's a D20 plus grit.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, D20 plus grit plus your value. So I think plus 2 altogether.
All right. Let's see how I do. 17. That doesn't sound bad.
Nice. You save.
Whew.
Hooray!
You take 15 explosive damage.
Oh.
Only?
Yep.
Okay,
Only?
that's
not too bad, actually.
Yeah, that's not
as
too
you're
bad,
running
though.
away, the ground cracks and splits, and green light shines up through it like you're running away from the opening maw of hell. And on the ridge, Concern and Valet are just watching you run as fast as you can to get to them. And you you have this little like quadrupedal, almost
remember,
like walker
it's like a
mech
little
that's just
spider
shimmying
around.
like
Yeah.
a spider as fast as it can across the desert. And you get out of range just as the explosion just destroys the ground behind you, and the rubble gets thrown up against the back of your mech, and you're thrown clear of the explosion, not getting caught fully in it.
Yeah.
But as you skid to the stop, you've lost a full structure in one go.
Yes, I did. All right, let's.
This is why I like that structures stop once you've hit the maximum HP.
Let's roll.
Yeah, that's a bit of a blessing there.
Let's roll my structure damage.
Yep, you're down to 2 structure.
So, whoops. So I roll a d6 and another d6, 5 for both of them.
We
so
sent
yeah.
CHIMERA to school before we consult her again.
Glancing blow.
Nice. Yeah, you got a 5 on both, which is as best as you could do. You get glancing blow. Your emergency systems kick in and stabilize your mech. However, your mech is impaired until the end of your next turn, which doesn't really matter here. You're just kind of like stuck there on the ground as Valet and Concern rush down from the ridge to collect you. They think you're fucked, right?
Yeah,
and they're just
yeah.
running
I
to
thought I was fucked.
try and salvage you. They're in fact impressed with how they're impressed that the director's cut did not get destroyed.
I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, when you started describing how explosive the Iridium Alum was, I was thinking it might be time for me to roll a new character. I really thought I was about to die just then. I would not be surprised if you just said, like, you got incinerated, Comet. Sorry.
Who inherits the GBC then?
Yeah, right.
Jeez.
I'll tip my hand on that. If you had failed the saving throw, you would have taken 2 structure all at once. So you would have been rolling 3d6 with only 1 structure left, which could have led to your mech is damaged beyond repair. So
Yeah, for sure.
It could have completely destroyed the director's cut. So
Yeah.
At least you wouldn't have died.
You're down to 2. You rolled a glancing blow. You really came out of that as best you could with how badly those last 2 rolls went.
Yeah, that one's going in the next movie. Take note of that.
But on the plus side, you have completely destroyed Squad 4.
Woo! Nice.
I mean, I know earlier
And-
I asked how many cities we had left to blow up. I didn't think this was included in that list.
Hey, whatever works. Well, and we got a little information. It's not as much as maybe I had hoped to originally get, but I think anything is better than nothing.
So we can actually examine that as you get back from your sortie. So this is
That's
happening.
true. I recorded all their conversations.
Yes. So this run up is going to continue over days. By the time you get back from this action with Concern and Valet, we can assume that Rock has also gotten back from the city. You guys kind of can all buddy back up once you get to the mining camp and plan for what else you want to do, as well as you can in character have conversations with anyone, make plans, assist each other for your upcoming roles, kind of discuss what's the most effective thing to do next. So you've come back from your mission and Rock has come back from his. You're all at the mining camp and now you can kind of share information freely. So feel free.
But by the way, when you take when I took 15 explosive damage, I can't remember. Does that damage roll into my HP after I take a structure?
No.
Okay, so I'm at full HP.
You should be at 11 out of 11 with 2 structure left.
Okay, yep, that's what I
That's
got.
why structure is so good.
Yeah,
Because once you hit 0, any extra damage you would take stops unless there's some mechanic that pushes it over. Which
I
maybe
think
there is.
I think you can choose to play with or without that. I choose to play that the taking a severe hit lowers you by 1 structure. But I'm sure other game masters roll the damage over. I just prefer
I honestly
this way.
prefer it this way.
It's fun because it's not how other systems do things, and I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I personally would rather just not get hit.
Hey,
Personally,
you
I
guys.
feel like it's the best way to
That's
avoid.
ideal.
Yeah, you guys
you know?
are the team of big brain plans today. Let's attack them and not lose. Let's not get hit. I mean, I don't know how they could hope to beat you.
All right.
Well, unfortunately, the last 2 people are the people who get hit every single time by everything. So
There's your problem. All right, so Astro rolls back into mining camp with Concern and Valet. His mech is smoking and charred as it hobbles in.
I'll ask Concern and Valet. I don't suppose either of you were filming that when that happened. That would be so good for my sizzle reel.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't think to activate video recording. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, why would you? But damn, my agent would love that. Anywho,
Who is your agent?
I actually did write down.
We
my
have
agent.
a name for him.
Yeah,
A very stressed out person right now who can't find.
I would think so. Evelene just kind of looks at takes one look at the mech and says, like, I want to raise.
Where the fuck is Astro? I can't find him anywhere. He's had 3 interviews.
Oops, I forgot to leave my agent a voicemail. Hey, I'm gonna go be a mercenary for a bit. Be back later.
Not just a mercenary. You're on the planet equivalent of a black site that no one knows exists.
Yep. Sounds about right. It's called method acting. Look it up. All right, so once we all get back together, I'm going to relay all, like, I'm going to send a data dump to all my teammates. And I'll say we should look through some of this, see if there's anything useful we can glean from this information.
Yeah, you succeeded so well on hacking their systems that you basically were able to make just kind of a complete image of their whole system at the time you broke in. So anything that was saved locally for them is accessible. You basically downloaded like a copy of their whole system.
That's great.
So narratively, that means you guys can ask me if you're looking for something specific, if it's there, and we'll find out.
What kind of
great.
What kind of mechs did they have? Like what license level and
Oh yes, so remember, license level is a construct. It's kind of a game turn. It's like in the way in other games, you don't know what level you are. You just know you've gotten stronger. Like license level in my world isn't a thing. But what you can tell is every Manticorp entry that you have like statistics and data on is significantly more well equipped than you are. Like if you all are tier 1, they are tier 2.
Okay. Let me think. What other questions I had about them? And they were. You said like a search and rescue squad.
Well, you just destroyed Squad 4. They are scouts and recovery experts. You also, now that you can cross-reference the data, you find out that the squad that was destroyed in the city was Squad 5, that were battlefield techs and engineers.
Do the other squads have... do we have information about the other squads, like what their roles are?
Not goals, but I can tell you what their specialties are.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so there are 5 squads. You know 4 and 5 are destroyed. Squad 1 is run by Melissa Buzz Honora. Their squad is detection and drone specialists. Squad 2 is run by Mockingbird, Bingo, Plant. They are aerial and speed specialists. Squad 3 is run by Tomo, Venetia, Suze. They are interdiction and system specialists.
Okay.
Those are the
That's good to
remaining
know.
3 Lancer squads. Remember, there are other mechs that are just kind of like support mechs, but they are the equivalent of like infantry. Like,
Yeah.
if they are all tier 2 compared to your tier 1, the infantry ones are tier 0.
Gotcha.
What-
So
What is
So we got-
introduction? Sorry.
oh, go ahead. No, you go.
What is interdiction?
Interdiction means to interrupt. Like an interdiction ship would be one that would stop your ship from being able to go into hyperspace or would blow out your engine so you can't go anywhere. Interdiction basically means to interrupt or disrupt.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, they're kind of like the hacky squad, maybe. And we had the aerial and detection squad, and then the
You have detection and drone and aerial
detection
and
drone
excuse me,
and speed.
aerial and speed. Yes.
All right. So we could probably assume that
Also, you know that above those 5 squad leaders, there is a person named Cell de Schulmeister. That is the wave commander. That is the person in charge of the 5 lance squads and the 8 troop squads. And then above him is Keto Armbar. That's the commander who left the message from the flagship. So there's
Gotcha.
5 squad leaders. Above them is the wave commander, and above him is the flagship commander.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I'll say to the others, we could probably assume that first squad is going to be the one trying to find our hideout. So the drone and detection squad.
Checks
I wonder if there's a way we can try to impair them in some way, to slow them down.
Here's a question. Do we know from the data they gave how many drones they had to begin with?
The drone data, it doesn't seem like Squad 4 had a lot of personal information on Squad 1.
Okay.
What you can tell is Squad 1 is positioned as kind of... it's almost like marked out as almost like squad leader among squad leaders, right?
Got it.
King of Kings, right? Like among the squad leaders, Melissa Buzz Honora is somehow marked out from the rest in some way. You don't know, by the way, if that means her squad is in charge of the other ones, if her squad is better than the other ones, or if her squad is just different in some way than the other squads.
They're the cool kids.
But they are marked out from the other 4 squads in terms of command structure. It's weird. It almost seems like Melissa reports more directly to Keto Armbar than she does to Cell de Schulmeister.
Okay.
Keto is the flagship guy.
Keto Armbar is the old man fleet commander
Yeah.
who
Okay.
did the intimidating message when the ship first arrived.
Okay. So it's almost like she reports, like she skips ahead to who she reports.
Yeah,
to.
the command structure is odd around that.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I'm just taking a guess, but I'm thinking that Squad 1 is probably the one that's gonna try to find us.
Well,
Wonder-
from what
wonder-
I understand from when Rock was in the city, they did send drones down originally, and it wasn't until they thought they were cleared that they sent out the first Lancer group. Right?
I have no idea of knowing if those drones are all that they have or not, but
I find it unlikely, but I suppose that was the safest play for them.
I suppose so.
Every one of the drones was about the size of a car.
Oh, good.
Huh.
We have flying cars now. Yay!
I got a
A
question.
small
Not
car,
like this.
like a mini, but car size nonetheless.
I got a question. Do we know anything else about this, lack of a better name, armor?
Oh, yeah. So there is
good
another entry aside from all the other ground forces. There's the Lance squads, the support mechs, and the troop squads. But aside it is just in all capital letters, ARMOR, armor.
That seems scary.
I'm guessing that's the grand finale, but like, it'd be great we knew more.
Might be some top secret weapon they've been developing. Now, all I have here is the name. Armor.
A really massive operating robot. I don't know.
So A is an acronym for A.
I mean, yes. Look, you come up with an
Armor.
acronym in 5 seconds.
Armored something, something, something.
It's a recursive acronym. Armor stands for armor.
Got it. Okay.
So what do you guys think? Any ideas? Any plans? Now that we have this data, how can we slow them down?
Well, we got another nuke, I guess, with this iridium. Maybe
Yeah,
not as large, but it's something.
Yeah, do we have a better idea of the yield of iridium now that we've
You
seen
sure
it in
do.
action?
Yeah.
Like, can we calculate with the iridium we have, like what kind of yield it has?
Here's the thing: you don't have much.
Yeah.
You have like a chunk that Chuck came back with.
Yep.
Part of the reason it was so explosive is there's so much of it, and it just kind of cascades.
Mm-hmm. And when Rock set up his explosive in the reactor, he set off like a bunch of different areas worth of iridium to all go off at the same time as the energy plant melted down, basically.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like an explosive booster, so to speak. I mean, you can make an educated guess as to how much explosive you could get out of remember, what you have is unprocessed iridium. So let me put it this way. The stuff that was on the power plant was processed iridium. The stuff that was in the mine is unprocessed, but there was so much of it.
Yeah.
You've probably maybe damaged the crust of the planet in that part of this planet. But the amount you have here is unprocessed and is like a human torso's size worth of iridium.
Okay.
If you had to guess, CHIMERA now, after reevaluating how much the yield of this is, it'd probably be good enough for like a moderate to high yield grenade worth of iridium.
Okay. Yeah. I was beginning to suspect that.
And by grenade, I mean a mech grenade, not like a human grenade.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
The reason I'm looking, one thing that kind of, runs through my brain is like, I wonder if they have if there's like a way to make them like a little more jumpy to iridium explosions. I mean, we literally killed 2 of their lance groups with iridium explosions, but I'm not exactly sure what that would give us.
Maybe
file that under options, I guess.
Concern will approach, and as you guys are kind of discussing strategy, he'll say, well, regardless of how this all comes out, we've destroyed half the city, we've taken out the power plant, and we've destroyed their mining operations. We've dealt a heavy hit to them, regardless of what happens next.
It's good, and they're probably at least be more cautious, which can only help us. The longer we can hold out, the better.
Absolutely. As long as we can keep them away long enough to load all the people in, charge up the ship, and get our escape onto the ship so we can leave with it, then we're good. We don't need to win here. We just need to bloody their nose and get out alive.
All right. That seems doable.
I'd say we've already, I'd say their nose is already bleeding quite a bit. Let's just hope that didn't piss them off that much, although I'm afraid it probably did.
I would bet money on that.
Let's see if we can't break their nose, too.
Okay, and enough nose analogies. Let's come up with a plan already.
That was a little on the nose, you're right.
I gotta give you that one. That's something I would do.
You can see Valet just shake his head silently.
Look, you're really starting to blow it.
Oh, okay. All right. So,
so this is kind of in between operations. If you want, you can take time to repair your mechs, do anything you would normally do during downtime. Remember, you can't get any more repair charges right now because there's no supplies left. All of them have been used.
Yep.
But if you want to use any repair cap you have to heal or move things around or whatever, you can do that in between these sorties.
Good to know. Let me see. Do I have repair left?
I think you have 4 repair cap
Yeah, I
left.
think
COMET.
you're pretty well said.
Oh yeah, I have a lot. Nice.
'Cause it
You're
takes-
the
it takes-
one who's like taken the least repair of everyone.
Yeah.
It's 2 repair cap to restore a full structure.
Yeah, now that you're not in a GMS mech anymore, it takes 2 repair cap to get 1 structure back.
Okay. I refreshed my ComCon and it put me back to 3 structure for some reason.
Yeah, you should be 2 structure, 11 health, 4 stress, and 0 heat, and 4 repair cap.
All right,
Based off
yeah,
of
that's-
how I'm tracking you.
That's what I have now too.
All right, cool.
All right,
Then you're
yeah,
updated.
I'll use my 2 repair to regain a structure.
All right, so you go down to 2 repair cap and you gain back that structure you lost.
All right. Nice. Anyone else want to do anything?
Not me.
During the downtime, Dyne kind of wants to research the land around the area around that we now basically have to survive in. What he's looking for is, are there any sonic resonators outside of the city that we know of?
Yes, they were the ones that were set up originally to protect the mining camp. They have run out of energy. Remember that energy is detectable. If any of those turn on, they're like writing a beacon fire.
I am aware.
Okay.
Is there a way? So basically, Dyne is going to look into a way to get that turned on.
Okay.
One of them.
If you have an energy source to power one, you can absolutely turn one on. I think Rock is the one who learns about how they work. You can and a power source, you'll be able to activate any sonic resonator you find.
Okay, the problem is the power source, I guess.
As long as you have a power source, you as a group collectively now know enough about sonic resonators to get them online.
I mean, each of us carry a power source.
Well, then we don't have a mech if we use that.
Just saying.
I mean, I feel like there's got to be enough resources in the camp to like fashion some sort of power source, even if it how long do you think you needed to be running?
Just long enough for them to come check it out. Not very long.
Okay.
We can ask if they have some sort of generator or something we can use.
Yeah, seems like a
That
fair
would help.
question.
Okay.
That's good.
So you guys find Joyce, and she is in the middle of it with trying to take care of other things. So what she does is she refers you on to he's in my notes.
He exists.
Hold, please.
Is it the Peak Binder?
Peak Binder.
Peaky Blinders.
Yes. So what she explains to you is that Peak Binder was the kind of lead of the mining camp before it got taken over to use as kind of a refugee camp. So he is the one who knows the mining camp better than anyone else. So he is who you would want to talk to. He is also in the command center. So he will meet you kind of in that meeting room you guys were in before. He is taking care of just some like admin things, like making sure that he's trying as much as he can to help out, taking like inventory and doing things like that so that he can keep Rejoice up to date on like what their supplies are like.
A good man.
Makes sense. And I would explain to him that I need just maybe a generator or a temporary power source for a sonic resonator, something that will get it up and running long enough for them to notice and come investigate.
RTG.
He's sitting there with his pipe. You see steam coming out of the end of his pipe. He thinks a little bit. He tips his pipe back a little bit, and you hear him drinking something. And
That's right. He has that weird pipe.
Did we ever find out what that was?
Nope. He pulls the pipe away from his mouth. Goes, "Oh, yeah, a generator. Yeah, we got one of those. Needs to work just a little bit. I'm sure we got enough energy left here in the camp that you could get that up and running. Sure, it's pretty portable. I think one of you could carry it out of here in one of them big old mech stompers you got."
Okay,
Mech
no
Stomper.
problem.
I like that name.
Problem being, we won't have power if we need it. We only kind of got the one generator for the mining camp right now. So if we need to turn the lights back on to activate our comm systems or anything like that, we won't be able to. Now, that hasn't been a problem yet because we've been going dark trying not get detected. But if we need it, it won't be there. Depends on how much you need it. I could put in a requisition to Rejoice if you needs it. He puts the pipe back in his mouth and like crosses his arms.
Well, let's see.
I assume the ships have a way of finding the camp even if there's no radio.
Are you there? Are you there with him?
Oh shoot, I'm not there. The ghost of Evelene asked this question.
Eveline's already dead. Sorry, guys. We're dealing with zombie Evelene now.
I mean, Chuck, if you wanted Evelyn to come along, you could.
Yeah, any of you can be
let's
there.
figure
All
that, yeah.
four of you can be there planning
I'm
if you
there.
want to be.
Yeah.
Let's retcon that. I'm there, and I asked that question.
All right. What about you, Rock? Are you the only one not present, or are you coming too?
I mean, I'll go where the group is.
Cool.
At this
All
point.
right. So all of us. So what did you ask, Evelyn?
I guess this is an obvious question of like, is there anything that absolutely requires us to have a generator? Like when the dropships actually show up, do they need like a radio to like find us, or do they already know where to show up?
Oh boy, I don't know. That sounds like something Casper would know. He's the one who's coordinating the escape for us. He hasn't said anything about needing it.
He's like, that's way above my pay grade.
As he answers, he takes out a little handheld torch, like one of those little like butane torches next to him, fires it along the bottom of his pipe until you see the brass at the bottom of his pipe start to glow, and then he turns off the torch and then sets it down next to him, and then he puts the pipe back in his mouth.
I'm concerned about what he's doing with that pipe, but I don't know him well enough to actually express concern.
Don't worry. It's just cocaine.
You can smoke it, you can drink it, you can puff it, apparently.
It's just crack cocaine. It's no problem.
Yeah, maybe we should talk to Casper before we take out our escape plan.
Yeah, and maybe we can figure out a time where it would be missed like the least in the mining camp.
Yeah,
we can
because
coordinate
if
a good
that's the
time to do
case,
that.
I wouldn't mind delaying my plan a little bit. Because my plan involves using the sonic resonator as a way to draw some of their forces into a trap.
Oh,
Would you-
okay.
A hopeful trap,
Will this involve the fauna then? I guess to some degree.
to some degree,
Yeah.
and maybe some other environmental hazards.
There's fire involved. There's fire involved, isn't there?
What do you think my mech is named? The Prometheus. Of course there's fire involved.
I was just trying to think of a god that wasn't Prometheus, just the screw of you.
Apollo? I mean, I have the
Neptune,
Apollo
Neptune.
system installed in
It's
my
Vulcan.
mech. There's going to be fire. Okay, so I would go to Casper and ask him about how necessary the communications are for the dropship.
I mean, it's really would only be necessary in case of an emergency. I mean, if you think we're going to get some mileage out of using it, we could probably use every advantage we can eke out. I wouldn't mind you taking it if you got a good idea. Just keep in mind, we won't have it around if we need it later.
Yeah, I know. That's why this is all we've got. It may be what I have to use. I don't know, Evelene. Do you have any plans you wanted to try before we follow this route?
Honestly, that was sort of what I was thinking. Like, I was originally thinking about seeing what kind of intel we could get up on the on Manticore, but I think Astro got basically everything we're gonna get. That's like I was gonna do something with the dropship, but I mean, honestly, yeah, I don't think it's worth it at this point. So I was thinking about fauna as well. I mean, if anything, I think we better just put our heads together and try to come up with two diverse plans.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can do this as kind of a combination action if you want. If you have like a single good plan that you want to work on together, you can do that.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
As much it'd be great to like eliminate this is speaking out of the character. As much as would be able to eliminate two lance groups and only have to do a one at the end. I feel like let's try to at least like do let's get some sure shots in so we can at least ensure it'll be two.
Or limit whatever happens.
Yeah.
The question is, which of the three will come? I have my suspicions on which ones, but we will find out.
Yeah, I'm guessing. But let's go do some other stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so tell me the setup. What are you guys doing?
So Dyne is looking for a sonic resonator that is in a relatively mountainous area.
Mm-hmm.
And once the generator is hooked up, do we have any, just as a general question, any explosives? Actually, you know what? We have the iridium.
Yeah,
Well, you have the iridium, which is the equivalent of like a grenade. You guys also have all those mines you salvage from the mine layer.
That is true.
We still have those? Great.
Yes. Yeah, they haven't been used yet.
So what Dyne wants to do is to get the generator hooked up and then to have mines laid around the area, as well as to basically have the iridium bomb rigged near the sonic resonator, but covered. Kind of, I mean, it's a desert, so it's not going to be that hard to put some sand around it.
Okay. It's desert to steppe, right? Like it's like a steppe region. So there's hard ground as well. The main thing is that foliage is sparse, right? It is mostly earth and rock.
Right. But to cover it in a way that doesn't look inconspicuous.
Cool. Okay, so it sounds like you guys are doing a variety of setups to basically set various traps for the mine and the explosive. So you can go ahead and make me a pilot check for that and tell me what you trigger.
Okay.
The disadvantage will be that the group sent to investigate will be far more wary of what's happening here if you fail.
Okay. So,
I can
Let's
do
see.
I can do a hack or fix roll on making the iridium bomb or actually that seems like the most logical thing to tackle first.
Okay. You want to go
Given
for that then?
given my track record with iridium, what's the worst that can happen?
Now, CHIMERA, let me just say, hack or fix repairs a device or faulty system, or hack it open, disable, or sabotage it. Doesn't really help you if you're trying to hide explosives.
Oh, I was thinking about creating the explosive. But yeah, that's not really breaking anything.
I mean, if we're going as far as hiding, I would imagine stay cool because I'm hiding a freaking bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have stay cool.
What I will say is, CHIMERA, that you have a conditional trigger that you were rewarded with in a previous mission that would be applicable to this as well.
With the distraction with gadgets?
Distraction with gadgets, yeah.
Okay.
It assumes that you can make distracting gadgets, right? So if
a bomb is distracting.
Yeah. I would situationally apply it to this roll.
Okay.
So if you wanna take the lead on this roll, I would let you use that skill trigger.
All right, so that's a d20 plus 2.
Can I don't know if I'm
Yeah,
able to aid in this roll. Would that give him accuracy?
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
saying?
If Orion is aiding you in the roll, I will grant you accuracy since you're working together.
Yep. I am going to be aiding this roll with because I not only have stay cool, but also I imagine spot would be appropriate in this case because it will allow me to basically to identify the optimum place to put it as well as to know places where not to put it. Or would that be investigate? No, investigate is studying something in great detail. I think spot would be more appropriate.
Okay, just go ahead and roll a d20 plus whatever your spot ability is, and then on a success, he gets an accuracy. On a failure, he doesn't.
1d20 plus 2. And then 1d6. 11.
What did you get the accuracy from?
Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. Forget that.
Doesn't matter. 10's still a success.
Good.
So you rolled 8 plus 2. That's a success. So CHIMERA, Dyne is being sufficiently assistive to help you with setting this up. So you get an accuracy to this.
Okay, so 1d20 plus 2 plus a d6. Oh, thank God. I got a 19.
19 total?
Nice.
Okay.
My rolls have never been that good. So
Okay, 13 plus 2 plus 4 worked out in your favor. Between the two of you, you are able to hide various mines, set up the explosive, kind of rig the area around the sonic resonator, and get the sonic resonator hooked up all at once. It seems to you, stepping back and looking at the area, unless examined up close, only the sonic resonator would be noticeable.
Right.
Okay, that's good.
Okay. So then, at this point,
I don't suppose we
is
could
there anything?
build it.
Go ahead.
I don't suppose we could dress this up anymore, but I guess a resonator powered alone is pretty suspicious.
I mean, that's kind of the point.
Yeah. Okay.
The point is, it's a giant beacon. So at this point, I think that we should we can't turn it on remotely, can we? The generator, or is that something that we can do?
Do you have any equipment that would allow you to set up a remote activation for the...
I don't think so.
No. Then no, unfortunately not.
So Dyne would tell Evelene to go and basically hide as, like, the reason I chose the mountainous area is because it would give us places to hide, both from what's going to be summoned from the creatures as well as the mechs, basically. And then once Evelene's sufficiently hidden, he's going to turn it on and retreat as well.
Okay. Yeah, let me go hide.
All right. Evelene gets out of dodge, and you begin like setting it up to activate. You're able to turn it on. What do you do afterwards?
After I turn it on, I retreat to a different hiding spot from Evelene.
Okay.
Still far enough away, but in the mountainous area. That makes me not just like hidden from the front, but hidden from above as well, since we know that there's an aerial team.
Yep, totally. You're trying to get full cover as much as you can. Yep, full obstruction. So you guys kind of retreat back into the mountainous area a little bit. You find some ledge. You find some broken up ground. You're able to get yourself out of sight from the area of the resonator. What's your goal here? What are you hoping to happen?
When the team has arrived, Dyne basically plans on destroying the generator to force an encounter between the fauna and whatever team has arrived, and based on that, he is going to take a number of actions.
Okay. You're right. It does take a little bit of time because it takes some time for a dispatch team to be set to investigate what you've set up here. And yes, a team of flight units accompanied by what appears to be a small swarm of car-sized kind of like triangular tubes flying alongside of them. It almost looks like a group of mechs followed by a bunch of metal birds. So it's like 5 mechs as well as a bunch of drones, as far as you can tell, heading this direction.
If I were to guess, this is Squad 2.
If you had to guess, this is probably Squad 2. The mechs in this group are probably Squad 2 mechs.
Okay. So what does Squad 2 do when they get here is the question.
They stop and start observing from the air. They are kind of like hovering around. They are like searching the area. The fauna in the area has started to be drawn to the resonator. They aren't aggressive. That's not what the resonator does, so to speak, but it does pull them into an area. And you can see they're all kind of like looking around. They see each other. They're examining the area. It's almost like they're all on like monster catnip a little bit, being close to this thing. They're examining the area. Even when they get annoyed with each other, you see various terror flies like trying to find an area to like maybe create a hive or an area to like conglomerate. And then you see various nempacks like digging up area in the sand and the dirt to not dig any tunnels yet, although you know they're very capable of doing that. But it's almost like they're making like areas for themselves to rest, almost like big annoying cats or something. They're just like digging areas in the sand to be more comfortable so they can spin around and sit down.
Okay.
The aerial team is observing from above, and after a little bit, you see the one that's in the lead. The one in the lead is a different loadout than the other 4, and also has very different coloring than the other 4. It seems to be marked from the other 4 aerial mechs. It makes a few motions with its appendages, and you can see it's probably like 15 of these drone scouts basically swarm down from where the aerial team is, and they start to examine the area.
Are they like scanning the area, I guess? Or,
yes, you see that they're like, they always stick together, almost like a flock of birds, but they do kind of like swarm down. Like 2 will separate off a little bit, but they're all kind of like looking around the same general area as each other. They're like examining, they're closing in on the resonator. They're looking at the creatures. They're looking at the area nearby. From the area they came from the direction of the city. You guys are hiding on the area that's away from the direction of the city. It's like they're doing a sweep. They started a little bit out from where the resonator is, and the drones are sweeping in towards the epicenter.
All right, and I would say that as they get closer to the sonic resonator, I would take aim with my plasma rifle and just take aim where I know the iridium bomb is and fire, with the intention of blowing up the bomb and the resonator, or at least disabling the resonator.
All right. Let's see here. Okay, so this isn't hull. Agility, B. And I'm throwing a feat. Fine, my dodging out. Nope. Systems. Nope. Engineering. Nope. Doesn't seem like it falls into line with one of those. You're not going to miss, is what I would say. It's almost more of a fortune kind of thing.
Yeah.
I know what this is. This isn't actually your check. This is an engineering check from CHIMERA.
Oh.
To see how good your setup was.
Yeah, that
you
makes
hit
sense.
everything effectively. Now let's see how effective the explosive setup is.
Okay, so engineering is. Wait, that's my mech engineering.
Yes, yeah, you set up everything with your mech, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
This is all like mech-sized equipment. You wouldn't have worked on this on the ground with your hands.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, yeah, so that's a D20 plus 1. Can't decide if I want to roll good or bad here.
Effectively using your ammo, power, or other resources as engineering. So this is you using your resources.
18.
18, nice. The setup is effective. You see the iridium alum grenade essentially detonate into a small sphere of burning hot green fire that immediately destroys the resonator and starts to set off a few of the mines nearby as you just start to see a couple of explosions in the ground. It sends all the creatures in the area into a frenzy as soon as it happens. And the explosion, as the drones had gotten closer, takes out about 5 of the 15 drones.
Okay.
All right, now you tell me what you want to do. The aerial team is examining what has happened and is moving closer to like, now it feels like the aerial team is kind of defensive right now. They aren't leaving, but you can tell they're on their back foot, kind of like taking stock of things.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to say right now we probably shouldn't engage the aerial team unless we have a really good plan because they have the air advantage here.
That is true. Do you have anything you want to do, CHIMERA?
Yeah, unfortunately, the things I can do are actually, no, these are all only impact things that are on the ground anyway. I was looking at some of my systems to see if anything would be useful here, but they're all ground-based systems. So, no, not really. I was really hoping,
You're really hoping for a ground team?
I was really hoping for a ground team.
Okay. Well, Dyne has one last thing that he can do. He has no idea how effective this is going to be, but we're going to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
So Dyne is going to wait until the aerial team is several of the aerial team is going to... He has no problem just sitting there and waiting until several of the aerial team is somewhat near a cliffside and or mountainous region.
Mm-hmm.
And when enough of them is going to congregate, he is going to activate his core power to fire his big cannon.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you're going to try and drop the cliff on them. That's great.
Yeah,
we talked about this.
Because part of my core power ability is that it also gives it a massive boost in damage to terrain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like normally in Lancer, you can assume that a mech's weapons aren't powerful enough to break through like ship hull armor and stuff like that. Orion's core power system is like one of those exceptions.
Yep.
All right. This is going to definitely be a check. This is probably an engineering check for you, Orion, because you need to keep your system under control as you're trying to fire it effectively. We already know you've been struggling with that since you don't have anything to kind of like offload the processing of it to.
Right. Okay.
Now, what I am going to say here is this is dangerous, so there will be consequences on a 10 through 20, and it's difficult, so you have a minus d6 to start based off of the setup actions.
I'm aware, and Orion is willing to take that risk at the moment.
Okay.
So it's going to be a 1d20 plus engineering minus 1d6.
And then your grit gets added because I'm gonna say it does because it's a mech thing. We're gonna have to. We're all going to pour through grit after this and figure out how this works. Plus, grit applies to the firing of weapons, and you're doing that specifically right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will say that when Dyne tries to line it up, because his ZF4 solid core is a line weapon, if he hits something, it's still going to pass through them. So if it hits them, great. If not, oh well.
Yep.
But he will try to fire through all of them in his range as well as the cliff.
Gotcha.
So here we go.
Let's see how effective it was.
11.
Okay, I rolled an 11 minus 4, so a total of a 7.
7.
Oh.
Not great.
Damn. Okay.
Still gonna fire.
Yeah.
Off it goes.
Yeah, you got 8 plus 2 plus 1, and then minus 4 on the d6. So you fire your solid core, and it blasts. You try to actually line up the squad commander with your solid core, and you have like a wisp of like success. You felt like you got him, and then he's just way faster than you anticipated. It seems like Bingo, who is the squad leader of the aerial team, is incredibly fast. And just like is almost able to predict your shot as soon as it's on field and just dodges out of the way. It slams into the thing behind it. The team disperses as soon as that happens. The aerial team is going to hunt you guys down now.
I think the only one they know about is me.
Yes. Are you choosing to engage them in combat, or are you trying to get out of here? Right now, this is a 2-on-5 fight.
No, we will get out of here.
Yeah, okay. I will cover you. Obviously on our flight to escape, but no point in engaging at this point.
Got you. I'm going to assume that you guys get away because overall your stuff didn't lead to a critical failure, but your final action didn't give you what you wanted. So that ultimately your mission didn't decrement the forces of Manticorp, but you're not drawn into a battle here either.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so you guys head back to base and you can debrief with the rest of your team. Rock and Astro, you see CHIMERA and ORION come back to base after they left with the generator, and they come back. They don't look worse for wear, but they come back a little bit later that evening.
But hey, I dropped a bunch of rocks on all of the creatures. Mission success.
Yeah.
Well, at least they didn't get you. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
I feel like
now
we
they know there's they know that there's at least one mech that can fire a really big cannon.
How often does our core powers recharge? Is that
per mission?
3 missions.
Per mission, so that's it then.
Yep. I was fully aware of what I was doing.
Hey, you gotta take the shot sometimes.
Uh-huh.
On a success, like based off of the power of that weapon, it would have been a dramatic success. But
yeah, so
sometimes it doesn't work out.
So just to take stock of the situation, we took out 5 drones and lost one generator. Is that where we're at?
Yeah, pretty much. We took out 5 drones. Maybe some others may have gotten hit in the crossfire of all the chaos. Who knows what the creatures did to some of the drones?
Oh, so you lost the generator?
The part of the reason you guys were able to get away is that the terror flies in the area were sent into a flurry by the destroyed resonator. So the aerial team did have, like, they were out in the open. They weren't hiding. When the terrorflies got angry, they attacked them. You didn't stick around long enough to see if that did anything, but it did give you a chance to escape.
Yeah. Yep.
That's good. So we're down a generator. I guess we just gotta hope we don't need it.
I mean, I guess we could, in theory, plug a mech in. I mean,
if you had to.
In an emergency, I guess that's true. We
Evelene, you know how to route power from a mech. It's something that you know how to do fairly easily. It's something that you've had to do. It's something you know how you've done a fair amount of times. In fact, Orion has probably done that a fair amount of times in his mercenary days to like power things while he's like out and about doing like exploring. But yeah, it's not hard to hook other things up to your mech's power.
It's all USB-C.
No, it's significantly easier.
USB-D.
Hey man, C's pretty easy. You don't have to like flip it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like like my favorite so far.
It is easier in so much that when you go to plug it in, it like aligns itself, so you aren't like trying to put it in at an angle constantly.
Magnets.
How does that work?
The future.
So, as we all sit down, Evelyn kind of makes the comment saying, like, obviously we didn't succeed as well as we did, but it kind of brings up an interesting point of like, are any of us really well suited for air combat? Because like I feel like that's our biggest problem. Like at least with ground, everyone's on the same footing.
Well, Rock can shoot them out of the sky.
I suppose that's true, but
I haven't installed flight boosters into my mech yet, but it's something I've been looking towards. I kind of need to get used to it as it is now, but
I don't know, like something I'm kind of spitballing on, and I'm not even sure it's a good idea. Just like I kind of want to see if we can push that fauna approach a bit further, because like I think they're expecting explosions at this point. We might need to change our strategy a bit.
Hey man, if explosions work though.
Look, I know
working out so far.
I realize the number of explosions per movie for you is probably at least 2, but I don't think explosions will solve all our problems.
It's not a very exciting movie if there's only 2 explosions.
Look, here's what I'm thinking, and I don't know. Maybe we can workshop this. So we've had the fight. I guess we never really officially named the bees. I'm gonna say the terror bee. I guess we'll call them terrorflies. And it seems like they always home in on whatever gets blasted with that gunk they shoot at, right? Like they basically prioritize. They're always prioritizing who they're going to attack based on who has the gunk, right?
I guess so. I never really thought about that.
Yeah,
you've been hit by it more than any of us, so
yes, we don't need to talk about that.
Just meant that you would know better, but
I definitely recall that being the case, because like I remember like early on when I was rushing in all the time, they always like I'd get sprayed and then all of them were like, oh, whoa, what is this? I gotta go over there and check it out. Like the obvious thing would be to like lure a lance group to a nest. Of course, the nuts part of that is like we gotta get next to a nest.
How far did our sensor scans go when we searched the tunnels underground? Did it go far enough that we would know like some nests that are further outside the city, or was it just centralized in the city area?
It was centralized in the city areas. The nests are all new. You could tell based off of, like, that's one of the things that Torse gave you info on after she ran the scans with the things you guys planted, is that they were all new burrows and nests, in so much that none of them most of them are pretty shallow and not very complicated. That's why most of the tunnels go down a little bit and then just stop. It's not like there was a network of tunnels beneath the city so much as there were a lot of shallow tunnels beneath the city.
Of course, the $1 million question is, how do we get them to a nest? I mean, honestly, the best thing would be to, like, bring them to us, like, at the final battle, like, bring them to a battle, but obviously we can't do that, so, like, we bring the battle to them.
Evelene, the Terrorfly Tamer.
I mean, it's not a bad. I mean, it's a nice ring to it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know, like,
there's not really a lot of use in hiding our presence at this point. They know we're here now.
Yeah.
So we could also use that to our advantage. Try to negotiate them with some of the captives that we have. Offer a trade.
That's true, even if only to delay them.
And I just want to correct what I'm saying here now. I don't actually plan on offering them, at least not, easily. But if we, tell them a point that we can meet them at for the trade, and then set the Terrorflies loose, I assume you want to try to get use of their bile or whatever they shoot and put it on them?
I don't know, like, maybe like I can make like a, I don't know, like a water balloon of some sort, and just
Water.
look. I'm working on it. I'm piecing this together. Just like if you had like a super, just bear with the analogy for a minute. To say, like, if you had like a super soaker or like something to just spray them with the gunk. Of course, that doesn't even talk about how you even get the gunk.
Well, there are Terrorfly corpses all over the place in different areas that we fought them in, but we also could just go out and I can
Harvest.
shoot them from pretty far away. Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. So okay, so we get the gunk. We negotiate. We set up this trade near your nest. Hopefully, they don't catch on to that detail.
I don't think. Do they know where all the nests are located? Oh, we wouldn't know that, would we?
No, we don't. But if there's any way we could figure it out. I mean, when you guys use the resonators in the mountain, could you tell a direction that Terrorflies came from?
I assume what we would. Do we know which direction they came from? Oh, voice from the sky?
Yeah, it seemed that they had burrows inside the mountain. So they came down from various ledges along the mountainsides.
They seem less colonized so much as just spread out everywhere, wherever they're at.
From what you guys seen, they kind of do the whole thing like wasp nests. It seems like there's a bunch of wasp nests up in the mountains that they come out of.
Huge wasp nest. What a nightmare. I mean, we could try that.
I mean, we don't have to do this plan. I mean, I'm literally just spitballing here.
I like any ideas I had.
I like the idea. I just the other thing we might want to consider is just hunkering down here and trying to make our position as defensible as possible.
I suppose that's an option too.
Well, that's something that we could be doing while we're dealing with another plan. I still think we need to slow them down, even if a little bit.
How suicide would it be to just set up a sonic resonator in the middle of our camp, and then when we start getting attacked, we just turn it on?
Well, there's a problem. We have
For
no
power.
generator. It's kind of blown up at the moment.
Yeah.
We hook up Astro up. He's got to. I'm really leaning into the idea of using mechs as batteries now. I'm probably going to regret this, but I think that is an option here.
I mean, that's something I feel like we should only do in an emergency because that mech won't be useful anymore except as a generator.
Yeah, that's fair.
So we'd be down a mech.
Yeah, and it's not like if we're trying to escape, we would be able to just unhook them.
True.
It's not like it's just an extension cord. Or is it? Probably not.
Well, what if we got a bunch of hamster wheels? No! Please don't take me seriously.
You plan on running in these hamster wheels, Evelene?
We got a few days.
Oh man.
Okay, yeah. So okay, scratch that then. But no, that might be an option. Like we definitely should like start defending the base a little bit. Like in the very least, like we gotta have some amount of turrets, right? Like those gotta count for something.
Dyne, sorry, I may be going off topic here, but how versed are you in exobiology?
Only as much as I've experienced. If I need to know it, then I'll learn it. It's not something I've sought myself.
I keep coming back to CHIMERA's idea from before. I think it's a good one. I was hoping that we could somehow, amplify the effect that this goo has. I assume it's pheromone based?
Yeah,
I shrug.
That sounds plausible.
If it was something that we can weaponize here on this planet, it'd be helpful.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not just the pheromones. Also, don't forget that when CHIMERA and I experienced it, it completely disabled our mech's armor. It made it
that's right, shredded.
very susceptible to just being sliced right through.
That's a very good point.
Also, I think I figured out a way. I think I just figured out a way to get it on the mechs. I mean, could we just make ammo that happens to have it in the bullet? Like,
In the shell?
That's what I'm saying. Like, make the shell instead of like replacing the shell like internal explosive, just put gunk in it. Because like we don't have to do damage. We just gotta get the gunk on them.
I can guarantee you it would reduce the effectiveness of the ammo.
Oh sure,
Maybe to the point where it wouldn't even do anything. But
the point is just to get it from point A to point B. The amount of damage is not as important here.
The thing is, when you got hit with it, it was larger amounts than could be held in a shell from a gun. So if we're not amplifying the effect, and this is of course assuming that whatever is causing it to react with the other terraflies isn't going to be destroyed in the heat of the gunshot.
True.
Maybe
we could just make a giant slingshot.
I do that thing where I like raise a finger like I'm about to say something and then just curl it and lower it like I don't have anything else to say to this. Like it.
Out of character. This is a Star Trek analogy. Okay, I'm not saying literal. I'm not literally saying getting some elastic and
You're like maybe if we use the planet's gravitational pull, just like a slingshot.
There you go. Thank you. You get it, Todd. What if we use magnets to launch it? There you go. But it's the concept of like having a container with gunk and then using momentum to push it. And maybe we can figure something out in the next few days on how that would work. Like something that we can aim is the main goal here.
A catapult, a trebuchet.
Yeah, that would work too. I don't know.
Even in this far-flung future, we must rely on the classics.
Couldn't we? What about?
We can't fight them, Captain. They have trebuchets.
Retreat.
I don't know if you guys are aware of this. There's like some sort of like contingent of people online who at every possible opportunity argue for the effectiveness and power of the trebuchet, and
As
like
one of the
if-
greatest war weapons of our time
Yeah,
in history. Yes, this is true.
So what you're saying is you need to link this in Discord.
it's just like
I mean,
if you mention
link a
catapults,
subculture.
if you talk about catapults or slings or something, these people will show up and explain to you how much better a trebuchet is.
Oh yeah, I'm with them.
I mean, I'm not arguing that like the trebuchet is more powerful, but isn't there something to be said to the setup time of a catapult versus a trebuchet and the mobility?
We're not having this conversation.
Makes it more
Todd.
versatile.
And thus began the video with the most dislikes we've ever had. Thanks, Todd.
I'm just saying, like, maybe there's situations where one's better than the other.
Pretty sure in the middle of war, they don't have time to debate that point.
Exactly, which is why you need the catapult. You have no time to set up a trebuchet.
Oh wait, I
Moving
got.
on.
Okay, moving on. What about okay, this is out of character, so I'm not even sure how this would translate to our times. But like the equivalent of like a paintball gun.
I mean, that would
isn't
that you would have to make hardened shells that you could, You would need some sort of hardened container that would break upon contact and a way to propel it. It's not very different than what you're already suggesting, truthfully.
You're basically saying, can we use an air cannon?
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
Asking.
Yeah.
I don't know. What about can we just set up some mines that
I imagine that this is happening while you all are like having drinks after like CHIMERA
I've slept,
and
by the way, right?
Oh God, yeah. No, it's been days since your mission.
Okay.
We're like 4 days in. You have maybe like 2-3 days left until you're leaving. So like you guys are coming down to it. You've held them off. You haven't been discovered. You've done some significant damage to them. CHIMERA and ORION got back today. Their mission didn't go with too much success, but they didn't get hurt in the process. So they got back, and now you guys are kind of having a powwow that night, probably over drinks. It's late. It's dark. The whole mining camp is just dark because there's no power, right? None of the lights are on, but you guys are just like all sitting around a table in the starlight with a couple of drinks and like going over strategy.
Yeah.
Day 1, we blew up the city. Day 2, we blew up the mine. Day 3, we blew up a sonic resonator. Day 4, Terrafly gunk.
They're going to start sending bomb crews in to wherever they're investigating next.
That's like... right? It's too bad that you guys destroyed them in the mine because that was their anti-bomb team.
We saved the biggest bomb for them of all.
Yeah, like literally the scout and recovery experts are literally like the bomb defusal squad as well. So
look, they died as they lived.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we can let's circle back on the how we get the gunk on them. There were other details that are probably more important to worry about.
Like what?
Like you making the you had mentioned something about making the base a little more defensible.
Oh, I thought you meant about your plan. Oh yeah, well, I think I'll see what I can do to help shore up the defenses around the base. Because the longer, at some point they will probably find our position and start attacking, and we just have to be able to hold them off for long enough.
What about Casper and what's his name?
Casper and Heathcote, they're around. You can find them in the camp fairly easily.
Yeah. I mean, I would include them in this conversation, right?
Oh yeah.
Let's say about now is when you guys,
over.
about now is when you see them like wandering through camp doing their let's say that for the last hour they were out doing rounds, right? They went around the camp just to make sure everything's cool, and they're coming back now at the end of like this little conversation. So,
Perfect.
Heathcote and Casper get back. Casper just like nods to you all as they sit down. All clear. Everyone's shaken. Everyone's getting antsy. They all know we're getting out of here in a couple of days, but I think everyone's holding together.
That's good. We were just discussing how to proceed from here.
Well, we've done a fair amount. We've messed up their operations a little bit, and we could always do more. I mean, what have you guys come up with? Best I had was the ploy to kind of like lure them into the best position available. Based off of that data, by the way, I have an idea of where we can set up shop as the colony ship is getting ready. I'm pretty sure I know where they're going to attack from when that happens, based off of the data we seeded them.
That's actually really good. I'm glad you brought that up. I think we should kind of prepare for that and shore up our defenses in that area, so we're fighting on our own turf. I'm happy to help you with that.
Yeah, I'd welcome the help. We don't want to make it too obvious that they can detect from a distance. Remember, the intel we gave them suggested that this was one of the weakest areas of our defense. We want it to be a surprise when they get there and start shooting them.
Makes sense. Evelene had an idea. You want to share?
Yeah. So I was sort of thinking about that air squad that we were dealing with, and I was thinking the best
sorry
way
to hear about that. I was hoping that we could get a little bit more out of them. Too bad it didn't work out.
What I was thinking was, if we can harness okay, I came very close to saying, it may not sound scientific, but we should consult the fairies to help us. We should if we could like take advantage of the terraflies. Like, one thing that we know for sure, well, I don't know for certain, but I have a pretty strong hunch they follow the gunk they spray on their victims. So if we could get that gunk and, like, I don't know, shoot it or catapult the gunk onto them, that way we could get the terraflies to, like, keep their numbers busy.
Mm-hmm.
We were kind of arguing about how to actually get the gunk on there. Like, whether we just, like, shoot out of a catapult or spray them,
Well, why don't we set it up as traps then? If we can't launch it at them or hit them with it, why don't we set it up in a place we know they're going to be?
Yeah, that's true. We could do that.
For example, the place we fed to them.
That might work. Remember, it's not just those squads we have to worry about either. They're probably going to send their whole force against us. If we can do something with that to, I don't know, line the area of their advance, clog it. Like, if we're going to be screwed if we're trying to get out of here in our ship and they're shelling us with their tanks and artillery too. So if we know the area they're going to be marching along to get here, we can probably screw up their ground forces pretty bad if we can get a bunch of terraflies to start assaulting them.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect.
So it's like we need to
just my
get
2 cents, though.
So we'd have to get the gunk and then get the terraflies over, which I imagine we could probably do with a resonator if we had the power for it.
Remember, every time we light up one of those resonators, we're sending off a flare to our enemies, too.
Well, if they're already coming anyway, there's no point. I mean, there's no harm.
Is the gunk enough to attract the terraflies, maybe?
Unless we, like, amplify it, which I think is why we were talking to Dyne about that.
He sits back and, like, crosses his arms. He says, yeah, I don't know how far away that stuff works, or if we need to set it up in an area we know they're going to be terraflies.
Wait, you mean you're not the exobiologist that we signed up for?
No, sorry. Heathcote leans in and says, from my understanding, the gunk, as you call it, that the terraflies exude is pheromone-based. We can only rely on it in so much that it would be carried on the wind. If we can get upwind from where we know a terrafly nest is, we can probably set it up a little bit ahead of time and just cross our fingers and hope that they interrupt them on their march. He, slowly leans back out after saying this. And you can tell the whole time he's talking, Casper is just locked onto him while he's talking. And then when he's done, Casper turns back to see what you guys say.
I like that idea.
Do we got a meteorologist around?
Heathcote doesn't say anything, but he just smiles a little bit.
Dyne just licks,
you're shitting me.
Sticks a finger up in the air. Not me.
That's something we can look into. Heathcote and I will.
I you were.
No. Heathcote and I will look at what we can tell from the weather patterns of the planet, see if there's anything we can deduce. But I mean, it's a possibility if he's willing to recommend that.
Yeah, maybe we can see if we can find a location that might cross with their path as they're advancing on our position.
All right, is that what you guys want your final big operation to be?
I guess so. Jay, did you have anything? You remember? I think you said something about maybe having another plan.
Oh, you don't want my plan.
Okay, I don't want it then.
Man,
okay,
now
so
I
then...
really want to know the plan.
Yeah,
that'll be in the extra content we have on our Patreon.
You have a Patreon? What?
No.
Oops, I spilled the beans. Sorry.
Yet. But yeah, no. If you guys have other ideas, you have approximately 2 days left. If you spend a day setting up for something that's going to happen on the day of your exit, you can get off another big operation. You have. I'm gonna give you guys one more big swing at them to try and reduce their forces before the final showdown. So, however you guys want to play that out, you tell me what your squad does.
Yeah, I mean, we could prepare by having someone harvest the gunk, someone else can set up the traps. I don't know if we'd need the sonic resonator if we're just finding a location upwind of the terraflies. So we're hoping.
Well, we wouldn't be able to turn the sonic resonator on.
Yeah,
so
we'd have to use a mech if we really wanted to do that, but
yeah, no, let's not.
We'd be down a mech, I guess. So yeah,
unless that mech can only remaining function is I can turn on, and basically everything else is shredded.
Well, luckily the director's cut isn't in that much damage. He did save it from that horrid fate.
Otherwise, I would say yes. You're going to be doing
just barely, though. Just barely.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think this is probably a good plan to pursue.
Okay.
And it kind of falls in line with how how Heathcote said we want to, or Casper, I can't remember which one. We want to draw their forces to a defensible position.
As far as you're aware, Heathcote has only talked that one time since the night you talked to him when he came over to visit your crew.
Got it.
But Casper will work together with you to kind of figure out this plan. So we're going to run this as kind of your final mission. So give me the broad strokes. What is the plan?
All right. Yeah, I mean, I think one person has to collect the gunk.
I think that's me. I can do it safely.
Step 1. Step 2 is creating the traps and setting them up in the field. I don't know.
Step 3 is meteorology.
yeah. Step 3, and I guess these aren't in order because step 3 can be done right away. Is trying to find a site to set up this?
That I'm giving you. That
Okay.
is going to be the expertise of Heathcote. When Casper comes back to you guys the next morning, when you guys are ready to embark on this mission, he has a location sketched out on a tack map that is like, if you set up the stuff here and give it 2 hours, then the wind should carry it within approximately 5 hives worth of terrorflies.
Great.
Oh, I like that number.
Step 3 is,
And it will draw the terrorflies across the ground forces, hopefully, if you've timed things correctly.
okay. Yeah, and I think step 3 would be like just have some of us line and wait. So once the terrorflies start attacking, we also attack them while they're weakened.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing is, if you do that, then you won't be at the defense of the colony ship.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like, these two things are
that makes
happening at the
sense.
same time. They're marching. Like, you're assuming that you can set off this trap as the ground forces, and by ground forces I mean the troop squads, like
Right, the
the
troops.
hundreds of soldiers with their tanks and their artillery and stuff. If you can set the terrorfly hives upon them, it will slow them down. They might not even reach it to you guys before you get off planet, right?
Okay.
Like, that's kind of what this plan would give you as a bonus if you succeed, is that you won't have to worry about the troop squads.
Okay, that makes sense. So I think the main thing is we need to collect the gunk. We have to set up the traps. All
right, well, let's do that then.
those are the two big
Let's zoom over to Rock. Rock, it is the morning of the final day before the colony ship arrives. Based off of what you know, the colony ship is probably arriving either later today or sometime in the night, and all of the civilians are going to be loaded onto the ship. The next day, they're going to power up the ship to escape the planet's gravity pull. So you have this last day to set up before you all evacuate.
Okay. Well, I would have spent as much time as I can gathering as much of this terrorfly goop as I can.
Perfect. And how do you do that?
I mean, going to different nests and then shooting them down from a distance is my thought. I wouldn't have a problem with retreating if I needed to, and then coming back later.
Yeah, totally. This will only take you time. You will need to find the hives in the mountains, shoot out a couple, like basically depopulate them so that you can move on the hive itself. This is not too difficult. And like you said, you're willing for it to take a little bit of extra time if you have to retreat and stand back and stuff. I want you to go ahead and make me an agility mech skill roll for this.
Okay.
Because this will be your fleeing if you're discovered, you're moving in silently, you're performing fine manual dexterity. This is all the things you need to get in and out and get the stuff.
Okay. No advantage, disadvantage.
Unless you can come up, there's no problems here, so it's not difficult. If you can come up with any like significant reasons why you should have accuracy, I'm willing to listen. Because right now it's just agility plus grit.
If I'm not looking at plus grit too. Okay.
Yes, because you're using your weapon, you're moving in your mech. I'm going to give it to you on this.
I would just say the infiltration skills that I have that I've been using up until now for getting away, if that's the main purpose.
Absolutely. I'm giving you an accuracy for your infiltration systems.
Okay. So rolled a 9 plus 5 plus a 6 on the accuracy. For
Ooh, nice. Got up into the crit range. It does not take you long. You're able to, with the final phase, approach the hives, and from a distance, you see them a long way out. You've dealt with a few of these now. And you wait, you take one out, you wait, you take one out. And after you get in on this hive, you don't alert the hive in taking these ones out. And the first hive you get to, you realize very quickly it's almost grotesque once you get close to one of these hives. It looks like you know how gooey the alien is from Alien?
Yeah.
That's what the inside of these hives look like with this black liquid. Like the walls are thick with it. You won't even need to go to another hive today. You will find more than you can carry here.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Yay!
I guess that pans out.
think.
Yes, it is scary here, and you have to be careful in collecting it because it is acidic. It will eat through your mech's armor if you expose it for too long.
Huh.
Good thing you guys never fell into one of these when you were fighting in the city.
Yeah.
Too bad we kids like a bunch of pitfalls full of this stuff.
Who says we can't?
Maybe time at this point.
Yeah, really.
Well, we have to set up some sort of trap.
Yeah, whatever you guys do, this is your final day to do it. So, all right. So, what do you do with the with what you've gathered, Rock?
I bring it back to the site
All
where
right.
we are planning on attacking them.
All right. So,
Setting up the trap at least.
totally. You guys have found a position that is like a mile off what you know is like the main road that they're going to take in the direction of the ship when it arrives and powers up. It is like an unused dirt road. It almost just looks like normal ground. Only because you were told it was at one time a trail do you even think to look at it like that. But this is the most likely route the troop squads are going to take in the direction that you know they're going to be traveling. What do you do with what you've gathered?
I assume someone's been setting up traps for and everything, right?
Yeah, I would assume so, and we probably like have collected enough information to know like where the wind's gonna blow to carry these pheromones.
So what kind of traps are we setting up? Like what did we say that looks like, Evelyn?
I don't think we did. So if the focus is pheromones, I mean, I guess we just need something that sort of just gets the stuff into the air for the pheromones to travel. So we could probably just do like some sort of like.
Can we do like just some kind of simple like mechanical traps that like
Yeah.
they like a foot plate or something, they step down on it almost like a mine, but it's
Yeah, like we could do something as simple as that. Like, well, do we even need a foot plate? Because if we see them coming, we could just activate it, right? Or do we need to make this like?
No, because we want to, unless someone wants to stay behind, I think we want to all be back at the base ready to defend it.
If one of you is this far away when that happens, you might not make it back to the ship in time to get on it when everyone leaves.
Okay, I was thinking like pair of binoculars, but yeah, we probably have to be physically here if we don't do a foot plate. Yeah, no, we can. Yeah, let's do a foot plate then. I'm sure we can figure out some spots that are nondescript that we can set up.
And we're not bargaining with the captives either.
I mean, we can. I feel like that's a separate. The thing is, like, if we're gonna bargain with them, they have to be like at a meeting spot. But if we're at a meeting spot, like,
Yeah, true. No, you're right.
yeah, either it's at the base if we kind of already want them thinned out at that point, or we meet somewhere else, but then we have to get to the base anyway.
Yep.
Seems unlikely. I mean, maybe that's like a plan B type deal. Is like they show up at the base and they're ready to like screw us up, and they'll say like, "Oh, we got hostages. Maybe reconsider." But I doubt they're going to.
Care that much.
Okay, so like, is it possible to rig up a bunch of like mechanical devices that are almost like these gunk mines?
Yeah.
You
if
can
we
totally try.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I figured
Okay.
we'd set up like little landmines or something that just have like the gunk all around it, so it sprays in the air once they go off.
Yeah, like they could just trigger a like put like some sort of easily explodable casket or bucket or something, and just shoot
What
stuff
about
in the air.
what about a sprinkler system?
We do that too. Do we got sprinklers that aren't going to erode from the acidity?
Unlikely.
But I thought it was a standard of every mind. Every mind.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, CHIMERA, you tell me what you're setting up and what you want it to do, and I'll have you make the appropriate roll.
Okay. Yeah. I'll maybe what I'll do is I'll coordinate with, I guess, anyone who wants to help to like dig some holes to set up some plates, and then we'll run some lines to a space like maybe even up a little higher elevation, such that the wind will carry it at the desired time.
I mean, could I try to analyze the terrain and determine the best spots to place the traps?
That was going to be my next question. Yeah, thank you.
I'll allow that to be an assist to assist CHIMERA. You will need to make a pilot check to determine the best place to place them, and if you succeed, CHIMERA will gain accuracy.
Okay, let me see. Could I do investigate for that?
Yeah, I'll accept investigate for that, totally.
All right, let's roll that up. Okay, take the difficulty off. Investigate, I rolled a 12.
12. Okay, great.
Good.
Yeah, CHIMERA, COMET with his detection systems has laid out kind of like a little net for you on your TAC map that looks like a good dispersion worth of like setting things up. You just need to tell me what kind of traps you're setting up.
I think of what we just described, like some sort of footplate that, when stepped on, triggers. Actually, we don't even need to run a wire. We could just do like an electronic signal that sets up these mines that disperse into the air.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and make me a roll to set those up.
Can I feel like this is distraction with gadgets, because bees attacking you is a distraction, I would argue.
Yeah, these are more distractive than destructive.
Okay. So 1d20 plus 2 plus d6.
That's correct.
Shit. 9.
Wow. So close.
Come on, we gave you everything.
I know. I'm thinking.
4 plus 2 plus 3. You think that you might be able to get them set up, but they're not going to be nearly as effective as you had hoped. You start to realize as you set them up that the goop itself is very viscous. It seems like the longer it's away from the hive, the more it seems to almost clot and become like a thick gunk instead of like a lighter oil, like an acidic oil. You're worried that by the time this goes off, it will be less effective than you had hoped.
I wonder if we could I can't believe I'm saying this. What if we could catapult this? I don't know if it's even worth our effort at this point.
Will we have enough time to construct the catapults? Do we have
That's what
the
I mean.
resources to construct the catapults?
I'm not saying your setup is not going to be effective in some way. It's not going to be as effective as you probably wish it would be. What you've set up is an effective net, and it will do kind of what you wanted it to do. It's just, instead of messing up the troop squads a lot, it'll mess it up kind of.
Part of me wants to make another attempt as a risky roll, but given the fact that last time I did that, the mine exploded.
You can do the thing where you roll again. It's more difficult. It becomes risky. It's just there'll be side effects between 10 and 20. If you want to push it, which is what it's called, you can push it and it becomes a dangerous roll and you get to roll again. I will let you do that for this.
I'm going to leave this up to the team because the last time I did this, I nearly screwed over Astro.
Does he roll the same roll?
She will roll the exact same thing she just rolled. She just gets another shot at it.
I say do it.
I'm fine with Astro getting screwed over again.
Yeah, the reason the mine nearly killed
back on me?
So the reason the mine nearly killed Astro, by the way, is because the last time someone pushed it is when CHIMERA pushed it, made it a dangerous roll, and then failed it really badly.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So that's why it comes back.
That's why I was sitting on that for 5 sessions.
Dyne, what are your thoughts?
Go for it. Do it.
Okay, here we go. I'm closing my eyes. I'm pressing enter. Lord have mercy on our soul. Oh, I did press enter. Okay,
do it already.
Fuck me.
Yay!
6. Oh boy.
No. What happened was I lost focus when I was typing in the roll. Oh God, Todd. I'm so sorry, Todd and Baba. You're gonna have fun with this.
So, you try to roll it again. You push it. You basically fiddle with the systems, and you're like, man, I just want it to work. I need it to work. And you start fiddling with it, and you just spend a lot of time working on this. Deconnect and reconnect and modify the mines, and you're trying to find a setup that's going to work for you. And man, like after you're done at the end, you wonder if it's going to be effective at all.
As God is my witness, I'm never pushing anything ever again. Yeah, I'm pushing a roll. Okay, don't take that out of context.
Do we? What? Anyways, do we know roughly when they're going to be there?
You know that they will march. They will send their forces through this area in response to the ship powering up. So it's kind of up to you when they come through this area.
And we don't know when the ship is coming exactly.
You know it's coming later today into tonight. Then tonight, they're going to evacuate all the civvies on board the ship. And then the plan is tomorrow morning to start powering up the ship. That will likely summon the enemies.
How far away was the mountainous area that I got the goop?
Probably a couple hours away.
Okay.
3 at most.
All right. I'm going to go back there, watching CHIMERA struggle with this greatly.
Yep.
And everything that's going on. And I'm going to wait until it's a few hours before dusk twilight time.
Yes.
Timing it so that when I come with a second payload, I lead it, leaving little drops here and there of it best I can.
Okay.
And then laying just a huge chunk of it, whatever I have left in the middle, dead terraflies be it or whatever I got.
Yeah.
A goop at dusk.
All right.
It is not hidden, but it is confusing to anyone that just walks up on it, probably.
Yes. Yeah, you can do that. You're able to salvage some efficacy out of this for sure. What it does cost you is some time. As you guys are kind of recouping.
I'm out until dusk, twilight.
Yeah, as you guys are recouping from this, Rock heads off to get you guys another payload of the goop to try again, basically. Evelene, you're probably frustrated at this point. You basically have to scrap everything you've done. This is just, at this point, you've overworked the liquid, and it's almost become a tar that is, holding your traps together. You might as well have burned rock candy around them.
All right. Well, I guess you know what? While Rock does that, we should just get in defensive positions back at the base.
Yep.
And prepare for an assault.
All right. Well, do all three of you head back then?
Yes, I'm
Yes.
going to head back.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
The three of you head back to base. It takes you. It's in a similar direction to where Rock went, but kind of like off. North instead of like northwest ish. But you're still heading to the same mountain range altogether. You head into the mining camp, and it takes you a little while to get there. Rock, you are successfully able to re-find the same hive that you had cleared out before. It does look like it's still fresh inside the hive, so you're able to collect a full new scraping, basically. It takes you a few more hours to wait until like it's dusk and then head back out. As night is setting, you arrive having left a trail of terrafly acid behind you, leading to the area that was set out by Heathcote on your TAC map. What do you do once you get here?
I don't notice any other changes, any other trap set up or anything around, right?
No, it looks like most of what CHIMERA set up is scrap at this point.
Okay. I place it close to where I know some traps are.
Yep.
So that if investigated, then they'd have to walk closer to it.
Right.
But I just lay it there.
Yeah.
Like all the goop is just sitting there and unceremoniously.
Yep, and this is just a plan. This isn't a skill check. It's just something that will do something. So you don't have to roll from this. You were probably able to salvage something out of this, but not nearly as effective as CHIMERA original plan may have been. But you feel pretty confident, Rock, that you were able to get something out of this effort.
As I leave to avoid terraflies that are
as you
following me.
leave, hearing that there may be some buzzing behind you.
Yeah.
All right, so eventually Rock will get back to the mining camp as well. And we're going to go ahead and end our first session tonight as you get back to the mining camp. And as you do, Heathcote and Casper take you out to the edge of camp and kind of point off into the distance. As kind of on the other side of the mountains from where you guys were setting up your traps, you see a gigantic ship falling down through the sky. It is frightening, actually. It doesn't look like a ship you've seen before. It doesn't look like ships that you've seen Rock in the military. It doesn't seem like the kind of mercenary ships that Orion has seen on the edge of space. It's almost alien looking in some ways. It is large and it is angular, almost a giant triangle. It is dark and it looks like it fell through the atmosphere. As far as you can tell, there are no thrusters on it as it descends. But as it lowers towards the ground, you can see it's slowing and slowing and slowing. And only through a trick of perspective can you even see the whole ship, for it is a giant colony ship that you will be able to fit the entire city's worth of people on. And as Casper kind of turns to you and says, "All right, looks like our ride's here. Time to get everyone on board."
Where the hell did you find this ship?
Made it.
Made it.
That's not important right now. Let's get to work.
Yeah, okay.
As we walk away, Eveline's just kind of shouting, "Made it! Made it!"
And from there, we'll pick up next session to pick up with you guys performing the holdout to try and hold off Manticorp as this ship prepares to leave orbit. And we'll see you guys all when we come back for the next one.
All right, should be exciting.
Here's hoping we survive.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I